can't remember how to do this. I think it goes something along the line of, hello, dear viewer and listener, and welcome to a Bergkamp Wonderland. We are now a 100% row-free zone. So if anybody here is allergic to fat-faced toads, you are welcome back. And I've also, Josh, I've also unbanned, I didn't mute myself though, have I? For fuck's sake. I've also unbanned Datac LBC and about 30 other people. Could get tasty. It's all going to go wrong. How are you, Josh? You're looking resplendent in that Tom, you said Tom Hanks, Tom Selleck Magnum style moustache. It's a thing of beauty.
Thank you. I've kept it, to be honest, because the chat box said that they hated it so much, and we ended up winning the FA Cup final with me having it in place. So I can only assume it is a lucky moustache, and I've got to keep it until we lose.
I actually started that set the YouTube bit up an hour ago. So most of these people have been sat there for a bloody hour moaning about why we aren't starting. There's Archie and Luke and Julian and Don and Archie and Ray and Arsenal Fan Circle. I can never remember his name. Is it Ray? I think his main name might be Ray. There's Luke and Don and Stan the man was in there. There's loads. Everyone's in there. And I said the reason why we're starting so late is because you're having a poo.
That's not the reason, but I can now understand why I'm getting such directed messages in the chat box about do I own a B-Day and questions like that. But no, I wasn't having a poo. Sorry, everybody. I just wanted to do 8:30.
Oh, Loki, breaking information. I went out of a fat-faced toad himself. Well, there you go. That's and Winston says good evening, or we're not say evening anymore, do we? No.
There's barely any Spaniards left now.
Did Jimmy say that he just checked the Facebook? Bloody hell! I didn't think anybody looked at the Facebook.
Even we don't check the Facebook.
It's like a ghost town, right, Phil? Yeah, so you're here to talk sense about the Raul Sanllehi situation. I'm here to make pointless comments and pretend that I know what's going on. I have no idea. Josh, tell the beautiful listeners what's going on.
I mean, you've done a lot of research. I'll say that. I haven't done as much, I would say. But yeah, Raul Sanllehi, the Arsenal Twitter announced... Well, we should say via a gerbil that I can only assume gets his information from being from hiding inside one of the orifices of a board member, because that's the only way they could have known that Sanllehi was going. But yeah, he has been, well, didn't say relieved of his duties. They didn't say left by mutual consent. They didn't say sacked. Doesn't seem to be one of the 55. So yeah, well, he's not here anymore. He's gone. There's some, well, I'm sure we'll go into some of the tinfoil hat theories, but we only launched an investigation a couple of days ago into the Pepe signing, and yesterday, there you go. Yeah,
so someone got the fuck out of Dodge as soon as the investigation started. That's you don't have to be Sherlock Holmes to think something could be afoot here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not a guilty man that that doesn't go that quickly after they do some investigation into one of the most high profile signings we have made in a very long time. But yes, the man himself has said it was COVID that has caused us the problem, which when I first saw it, you know what? Edu's role is technical director.
I've made a list here of every single person at the club. He was hired in Edu, July 2019, technical director, Josh. You were 100%
technical
correct.
Director. And then Raul Sanllehi was head of football.
Raul Sanllehi was hired on November 2017 as head of football after 14 glorious years at Barcelona, where he did absolutely nothing wrong. No shady deals, nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it's a bit... what's the difference between a head of football and a technical director in terms of their roles and responsibilities? It seems very, very similar to me. So it almost looks like, you know what? You don't really need it, Raul, now anyway, because we've got Edu in place. And, another, keep my tinfoil hat on. If Keir Yoprahan or however you say it, is fully integrated into the club now, don't need Raul Sanllehi. We've got Keir and Edu. to run the club for us.
You certainly do. I got a lot of the information from the magnificent LeGrove. Pedro, he did a fantastic blog on it. And at the beginning of the blog, he links to a blog that he did yesterday about some of the shitty deals that we've done. He links to another blog from a little while back. He links to another blog about signing the De Boer twins. I think he bowled me for a googly there. I wasn't sure what's going on. And then I spent the next hour and a half copying and pasting, looking and yahooing until I was nearly blue in the face. And yeah, it seems Vinay is the man who is going to save us. And this all goes back to the summer. This summer, July 2020, Tim Lewis, who is a corporate lawyer and a gooner, in as a non-executive director. He's a good friend of the Cronkies and one of the few people he trusts. And he said, "Oi, Tim, do us a favour, Treacle, come in here, have a little delve." So Tim went round all the individual departments at Arsenal, went, "Oi, you, I want a receipt for that, those pens that you've got. You, that bin that you've got, I want to know where you got it from. That fruit machine, has that... what's going on with that?" And then he went on to Raul, and then Raul, there's a paper trail. You've been up to some shenanigans, Raul. I'm going to do an official investigation. Raul. Oh, Raul's gone. And that was, I think, in the film version where Tom Cruise will play Raul Sanllehi. I think that's how it's going to play out.
I think it's something like that, where he came into his office and went, "Raul." And Raul's just, busy doing something, and all you can hear is the whirring of a shredder in the background. So, "No brown envelopes here, sir. Purely clean and white ones. No, nothing dodgy going here."
Stan's got it. Vinay now sits upon the Iron Throne. Yes. So, where do we go from here? Do you think it is going to come out in the wash that Raul has done some shady deals? Because again, LeGrove, go and look at his stuff. He has his own podcast. I'm not plagiarizing him. I'm telling you, that's where I read it. He was saying that. Yeah, I think it was all bluff and nonsense from Raul going, "I'll come in, I'll get you the right things, I'll get you the right players." And it turns out that he knows nothing about what he's doing, and he was just relying on super agents, getting in bed with them, getting the hot water bottle, hot cocoa, getting in bed with them, and then getting us to buy some of their players. Because some of the players that we have signed, it's Cedric Suarez and David Luiz, are both part of Kia Drabchin's company, Sports Invest UK. That's facts. And Sports Invest UK represented Arsenal's Alex Iwobi in a £35 million move to Everton. I mean, was he worth £35 million, Josh?
Yeah, of course. No, I mean, he's worth more.
Every penny of it. He was worth £35 million.
Every penny of his homegrownness.
Yeah.
Went and tweaked and added a zero to exactly how much he was worth.
And do you need to sit down when I tell you that the Drabchin's, I'm going to call him Kia's company also represent Philip Coutinho and Willian. Are you shocked to hear that news?
Well, knock me down. I'm surprised. It's one of those, though, that in terms of, he doesn't represent shit players, though, does he? In terms of Kia. I mean, if he brings us the next Tevez and Mascherano, I'm not going to shout too much.
I was looking into that. They did a 10-year deal with my Brazilian club, Corinthians. And I think at one point on the Wikipedia, it said Corinthians made no money from some of the sales of their best players, because when Tevez and Mascherano signed for West Ham under very dubious circumstances, they got a hell of a lot of money. And then he moved them on again. Then they moved on again. But Corinthians were sitting there thinking, hold on a second, we've sold all these brilliant players and we've not really made any money out of it. Go check the Wikipedia for that. I can't remember what it said, but links also to lots of other super agents and some of their top players. And we said for years, didn't we, Wenger? What was it Wenger used to say about the super agents?
Oh, I thought he said they were evil, weren't they? An unnecessary or like a parasite on the transfer market, I think would have been. He probably said it more eloquently than that as well.
He probably did, and he's probably right, because that seems to be what it is. Let's have a look at what some of the people are saying in the chat box. Stan, Raul had it away on his chubby little toes. And here we go. Ray is saying, I think the man is investigating it, just came in. Yeah, he did. He came in July. Oh, Jimmy wants to know, on a scale of 1 to 10, how dirty do you think the club has been? Underhanded, dirty, shady deals. We obviously don't know, because we're not in the know. But if we had to have a guess, I'd say it's... looking at the Pepe deal alone, I'm going to have to say a 7.
Yeah, I think I think there's been certain ones that have looked a bit suspect. I think Pepe's transfer fee is one that's very, very suspect. Yeah, some of the other ones are a bit. I don't know. There's some things going around that seem a bit odd. But I think in terms of the signings we've done in the last 6 months, I don't think, none of those are like waving red flags. I thought the Pablo Mari deal and the Cedric deal were both very shrewd pieces of investment, getting those players in because Arteta wanted them. So yeah. What's about you?
What is a butts in French? Is that goal or is that
Goal.
assist?
Boot.
Oh,
Boot is
okay.
a goal.
Pepe last season for Lille, 38 games in the league, 22 goals, 11 assists. Of those 22 goals, 9 were penalties. And the season before that, 13 goals, 6 assists. Now, a player like that, how much do you reckon he would have been worth? Coming from a farmers league where they've only got one decent team. 1.5 if farmers listening.
To be honest, I would have said about 50 million. The terms of the teams that were involved, because at the time it was, Barcelona were in for him, Real Madrid were linked, PSG were linked. And I think it just shows how outrageous the fee was that we paid for him, so that even PSG went, oh, that's a bit steep. That should have been the first warning sign. But that's what's kind of come out in the Mirror's article about, breaking the news. Sorry, I should say we're raising a load of articles and none of them were Simon Collins's one. But yeah.
Did you read Simon's one? I know I retweeted it, but I haven't read it.
Oh, Simon. I mean, we know who gets all his information from now. It's now Carl. Turns out Carl was the one that broke the news.
But our Carl?
Oh, Carl, yeah.
Oh, what did Carl do?
I just told us in the WhatsApp group, just asked Simon. He's like, does he know anything about Raul leaving? He said no. Yes, and then it happened.
And then a few minutes later, yes.
Later, he was sacked.
We have an honoured guest watching the football gerbil. Gerb's got a gerb. We give high praise to the gerbil at the beginning of the show because they give all the information.
I didn't. I said he was stored up someone's arse.
Yeah, Daniel Brazil says the 10 million on top of the 72 million for Pepe, we got taken to the cleaners big time. Now, when we bought Pepe, I thought it's going to be one of those things like Dortmund goes out and buys a really brilliant youngster and then with the hope of selling on to Real Madrid or Barcelona for twice what they paid for him, like they did with Dembele. That's the kind of thing. But have you seen anything from Pepe that means we're either going to get close to our money back if he was ever to leave? Because I love Pepe. He's fantastic. I love watching him. I've never been down on him at all, but I like the fact that he's good. And he's taken a while to settle in. But I mean, he's shown his class, hasn't he, with those 2 free kicks and the number of goals that he's done and stuff like that. But we're never going to get £72 million back for him, are we? Not now due to everyone being skint.
Yeah, I think COVID was the biggest problem for us at this time. But next season, who knows? I think there's still going to be big transfer fees floating around. But we'll see. I think at the moment it's going to be very clever. Yeah, very clever in terms of what deals occur and don't occur this year, whilst we've got to try and pay back that money from TV deal. They've got to pay back, I think, next season.
Why have we got to pay money back?
Because we didn't do the fixtures as Sky said or something. Everybody's got to do it in the Premier League.
How much they got to back each?
I want to say
per game they did wrong.
I think it's something like 100 million.
We only got 30 million. Only got 30 million for finishing 8th.
Yeah, that was for the Premier League. It was the TV rights thingy that's massive. So that £300 million contract, they want a third of it back for last season.
Fuck off. Do what I do when Sky ring me. Turn the fuck off. You're not having anything. I'm not interested.
Yeah.
And then tell them you're going to go to Virgin. That usually works for me.
Same.
Well, if you're really desperate, go to what's that one with that fat northern bloke?
Talk. No.
That's it.
Plusnet,
that's the one. Tell them you're going to go to Plusnet. You'll get it for 50 quid. Ray Anderson makes a point here again. He says, that's why I don't understand why they paid $5 million for an injured Cedric when he was free in the summer. See, things like that do make you wonder. I say, well, we didn't really need you. We could have got by without you. If you want to join us in the summer on a free transfer, then yeah, but did we pay a £5 million loan fee for a player that only has 6 months left on his contract?
Depends if we covered his wages or not in that time. I think we did. I think that's one of those. I don't think necessarily we did because we didn't have the wage budget.
It says Loki's put RM has just finished playing for
we don't
Omar.
have to. The deal is to give less in the next 3 years instead. Oh yeah, so Archie has covered the TV deal. Yeah, I knew they were doing something about it, and I thought we had to pay it back. But they've obviously agreed that they're going to do it like when you get a tax rebate, you can sometimes just not pay as much tax the next year.
Where's he put that?
It is in the chat. It's a couple before he says that I'm wrong, which is fair enough.
I've heard nothing about it. At least you've heard something about it. Yeah, Loki's put RM have just finished playing for Overmars. I think he means Barcelona, but I wouldn't be surprised. So if he'd have waited to the summer, Kia wouldn't have been paid. Here we go. Avon's striking with a tinfoil hat. Yeah. If we'd have waited to the summer, Kia wouldn't have been paid, would he? That's a very good point. That's probably why they did it then, because he's not going to get a cut of the transfer fee if he's going to go on a free transfer, is he? Oh yeah, Loki's.
No, they'll get agent. The agents will get money for free deals as well because they're still brokering a move, aren't they?
So yeah. So now that that Fat Raul's gone, do you think we're still going to be in for Coutinho, the player that nobody wants?
I don't know. Don't know on that one. If we're going to get Coutinho or not, I'm not entirely sure if we should go for him. But it looks like we're changing the way that we're going about our business as well. I think there's the stripping back. I think the scouting team was more of, it was a very bloated department and we've just streamlined it. This isn't now that Raul is gone, I think that's given everybody a bit of an idea that if they thought previously that this meant was because we were going only to use agents and, using Raul's Rolodex to pick the next names. I think this was more about Edu, streamlining the department. Sven had said we needed to streamline the department as well. So I think we're just doing that, really.
If I was watching us, Josh, I'd say you two twats have come on here and you're not giving us any information. Do you know what I'm going to do, Josh?
What's that?
I'm going to give them some information. You were talking about the scouting and who's gone. I've not heard anyone go through all this lot. I have actually gone and researched this myself. November 2019, we let go Steve Morrow. He was the head of youth scouting. Dave Lee, he was the head under 16 to seniors scout. Kevin Bedell, under 16s to under 23 scout. Dan Rice, under 12s to under 16s scout. Joe Sutton, under 9s to under 12s scout. Jay Leffy, he also went. And then recently, Brian McDermott, ex-Arsenal player, Reading manager for a while, came back to the club as a scout. He was gone in August. Recently, he's one of the 55, I think. Pete Clark, out as the head of UK recruitment. Francis Caggio was the head of recruitment. And as we said, Raul was out as head of football. This list here I have got so many people that have gone out. Plus you add into that Jason in May, Jason Rosenfeld, the bloke who came to us with Stats DNA. He's gone and joined Wenger at whatever he's doing at FIFA. So Chips Keswick is out as chairman and not been replaced by anybody. We had a couple of people come in February. You had Lee Heron in as talent ID department and Steve Brown working underneath him in the talent ID department. Then we had all of the Arteta's people. Not Arteta. I'm going to keep doing this forever. All of Emery's people have gone as well. And then we had it in July. And I won't go all the way back to July, but that is, like you were saying, we had a very bloated youth system, youth scout system and young player system. Too many people, wasn't it? I know people are going mad about it, but you don't really need that anymore, do you? That's what a lot of
no. There's so many, there's so many kind of there's no unknown players anymore. I think is the best way to kind of describe it. It's not like Wenger can, anyone that goes to Clairefontaine now, they're already at big clubs. Wenger could kind of sneak in and pluck one of them out of the youth academy. There's I've seen Jimmy H has messaged you, Danny.
So move on from that, Jimmy. Thank you very much.
Yes, but in terms of, I'm not sure that we can really see that. Yeah, a 12-year-old kid now has already got an agent, probably if they're good enough, and secondly, are already at someone's academy. If you're good enough at that age, and even like Eddie Nketiah. We took him from Chelsea, didn't we? after they kind of chucked him out. So yeah, I think there's so many things from that you can kind of read into or not read into, that a lot of this you'll also now have analytics data on, and I wouldn't expect us to not have recordings of our players on how they're doing in most levels of our youth academy. So we can utilize that data, just utilize analytics more. It's like any business. Now they're going away from the analog and it's more digital with the way that they're finding or doing anything. And yeah, just making sure everything's down with scouting numbers.
I think we've seen from the COVID thing, everything could be done from home now. So if you've got someone there at the game videoing it, taking notes, there's only one person, they put it in a database, everybody can go and use it. I mean, you wouldn't go too far. I mean, look at the way that Football Manager, the game, the way they have all their scouting system. They have people at every single club all over the world sending in all the stuff. And most of the time, it's pretty damn accurate, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you only, well, let's just put it this way. I kind of expect the way that we work now is Arteta says, I need a, I don't know, just an example, left-footed centre-back that can do this, that, and whatever, and start for us every week. I don't want him to block this player, or Pablo Mari's there to cover for him, so we could get away with someone younger. Goes to the stats guys. The stats guys go and pull up a short list of 3 or 4 players. And then you then get the scouts to do that. It's not like the scouts are now coming back to, their chief scout and say, hey, I spotted this kid over there at some game. Do you want to go and have a look at him? Because chances are we've already got him in the database. That's the whole point of Stats DNA, is we bought a database full of players. We can continue adding to it. Again, I think it was, who was the guy that found Fabregas? Caggio.
Yeah,
people saying he was the one that, he was the one that discovered Gabriel Martinelli. Well, what the fuck was he doing at a 4th division Brazilian side watching them play? That no one's doing scouting like that anymore. He was clearly went out there because somebody said, this kid's putting in some crazy numbers. Do you want to go and have a look at him? That's the difference. No one's discovering talent anymore. It's all in a database. It's just getting the best people to extract the numbers.
Jimmy H has made a point here. He says, question for later, which we'll do now. People slag off Josh Kroenke and Stan Kroenke, or Kroenke, whichever way you want it. Clearly they smelt a rat and they set in the cat to find something. Within 48 hours, Raul is gone. So is Stan finally doing a good job for the club? Good question. What do you think? Yeah,
absolutely. I think since they took full ownership, full control of the club, they've been doing great things for us, to be honest. I haven't really seen them put a foot wrong. They've given at least everybody a chance. Let's put it that way. They gave Emery a chance. Emery fucked up. We'd all agree with that. He got fired. Raul, they gave him a chance, but you know what? Edu came in and went, this doesn't look right. Arteta's probably come in and said, this wouldn't have happened at City. So yeah. I think, again, that's why he sent someone in and he's having a look. And clearly we've seen something happen here with Raul. He's blamed it on COVID. Who knows?
Archie wants to know, why do they unblock people? Because I believe in giving people a 4th or 5th chance. I think he's referring to Sammy Sizzle saying nonce-watcher, because someone said earlier, didn't they? Got an eye on them, on the people.
Yeah, you got all the people that look at the kids. Yeah.
Right. Here we go. Ian Barron. Hi, everyone watching. It is my 46th birthday today. Well, if it really is, happy birthday, Barron. My family are Barron. Sean's uncle, Philip, is a Baron from North London. That makes him sound posh, doesn't it? He's a dirty Tottenham fan. They're all scumbags. Lovely people, but someone else is saying the bloke from Stats DNA left. We said that he left, but it doesn't take a genius to use the Stats DNA software.
Exactly, it's a database
you're looking for, and you're probably going to find it.
Yeah, exactly. This was more of a guy bringing in analytics into our side rather than anything else. Yes.
Sammy Sizzle has explained himself. He says, "Sorry, I didn't mean about good old Danny Boy, though. I know what you meant." Oh, and Archie's given a little lol, so he's giving it a full lol. Has anybody got any questions about any of the stuff? We're only going to go for another 5 minutes. Keep these short and sweet. That's PK and
we said we'd do one on Willian at some point, didn't we?
We are going to
do on Willian.
We're having an official ABW meeting tomorrow night. We have got some good shit planned, and we're just going to go over it. No, we don't ban people, Sizzle. We only ban them if they constantly call us cunts. And so, as long as you don't do that, you'll probably be all right. You can call us morons, but we're not overly fond of the C word. What's this O'Malley has put about PK? Has PK offered to leave Barcelona?
He did in his post-match interview.
He
was saying if he needs to leave. Yeah, I think he said if he needed to leave, he would happily leave because of their performance last night, which, to be fair, he should have retired a couple of seasons ago. But they were all terrible yesterday, and it was hilarious to watch, and it was the least they deserved.
I could give 9 of them a 0.
Yeah.
Something like that. Oh, did you watch the game?
Oh, I did. I did watch the whole game. It was amazing.
Watch the games, but I was in the kitchen and I was doing something in the kitchen and then it went, oh, goal! I went, fucking hell. Then I went in my bedroom because I live in a bungalow. I could see the telly and it's screaming another goal and then another one. I thought either my feed, my official, I can't remember what it's called, subscription to BT Sports because I paid them the full amount of money. Anyway, a few people, Rude Boy has put there. Oh, he's got Slash from Guns N' Roses on there. Cool. Who's English? He says, but doesn't Kia... What?
He's from Stoke.
Hey up. He says, doesn't Kia represent Edu? Pretty sure he does. Quite a few people have said that. If he does, then
he does. They have a good relationship from Corinthians. Surprise, surprise. Because obviously Edu was director of football for them. So yeah, he does know Kia, and Kia knows him.
But I don't think he's going to be trying to get him a move to another club because there's no money involved, is there? So he's maybe he was a mate of his from, like you were saying, the Corinthians days.
Yeah.
Oh, Loki says, Willian, worth 40 million over 3 years. We'll cover this when we do the Willian pod, which is going to be, I think you're doing it. I might be doing it, or somebody else might be doing it, but you're definitely doing it. So we'll cover that when it comes to the thing. But there's oh yeah, Julian just confirming that he did. Any points, any questions, people, before we go?
Archie's asked one. Archie's asked a question. He says, "Has Aubameyang signed, Josh?" I don't know. I don't know.
You can make it up.
Has Aubameyang signed? Yes.
I have.
I've signed for us.
Carl told us.
He did. It was the word from the underground that apparently Aubameyang has signed his new deal. He did it on the Northern Line. That's where it all happened, and Carl saw it on CCTV.
The Baron's put something. He says, I just want my club to get a bit of publicity. We hit rock bottom when we had nothing, when we were bankrupt. Who could that be?
Darlington FC, I think, is what he said.
Oh, Darlington. They've come back. Didn't they reform and put a number at the end of their name? And they've got back up quite a few number of league up the pyramid. I think that's them. Cameron wants to know, is Kia on the payroll? I think Legrove refers. It says in one of the blogs that I was reading of his that he wouldn't be surprised if Kia has his own room somewhere in the Emirates with his name on the door because he was that entwined in shit that was going on.
He might be as a consultant or something, but I wouldn't say officially payroll. But yeah,
has brought up of that. Thank you for this, Gerbil, whoever you are. Have you discussed the appointment of a certain Arsenal legend onto the board? Do you know who that is?
Well, as far as I know, it was David O'Leary because he was blocked by Raul. Raul was the man that didn't want him on the board. Raul's now gone. So I can only assume it will be David O'Leary. I don't think it's Dennis Bergkamp at all because...
Too young. Too much to offer as a coach.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's too much to offer on the pitch. I think he still wants to work with players, and you don't really do that in the board. So yeah, I don't think it's Bergkamp at all. Chat box. I would be more surprised. It's almost certain. I would say that it's David O'Leary. Bearing in mind they tried to put him on the board last season.
I have David O'Leary, 722 games for Arsenal, one of the greatest centre-backs ever to grace our beautiful club. And a lot of fans don't like him. And I didn't know why this was. It happened years ago when he was manager of Leeds. I think they beat us and stopped us winning the title, and he celebrated. Well, he was manager of Leeds. Of course he's going to fucking celebrate. I have nothing but love for David O'Leary. What do you think about him? Was he a bit beyond your time?
He is very much beyond my time. I was trying to explain this earlier in a little WhatsApp chat that I think if you are under the age of 30, maybe 35, you don't really know who David O'Leary is from an Arsenal point of view. You know him as the Leeds manager. But yeah, as you say, he's the same kind of level as same era as Steve Bold, pre-Tony Adams.
He's actually born in London, but then his parents moved back to Ireland. So he is the Irish Tony Adams. Just think of it like that. Brilliant for the Republic of Ireland, magnificent for Arsenal. And Steve Bold was the one that took over from him and was partnered Tony Adams. But Tony Adams would probably say David O'Leary is the man that made him who he is as a player. But no, magnificent for Arsenal.
Is he on the side of the Emirates as well? O'Leary, is he one of those players?
I would hope so. I've not had a look. So.
I think because it's Rocky's one of them. I think it's Charlie George.
I mean, there's loads of them. They're all arm in arm. That one.
Yeah, the arm in arm one.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
About 4 or 5 players up on the side of the Emirates. Is he one of those?
I think they go all the way around the Emirates, don't they? Arm in arm. No,
I don't think so. No, I thought it was just
never looked. Just imagining they would do. Here you go. Our very own Richard wants to know, does the sacking of Don show that Josh Kroenke is taking a more active role, thus removing the absent owner tag?
Yeah, sure. I'm not really sure on it. Yeah, I think so. I'm not really sure on that one. Yeah, I think so. I think he has. O'Leary is up there. Sorry, he's next to. He's on the same side as Perez.
Someone put this in there. Are you looking?
I'm looking on the Google Images, and I can't work out who the other one is because I can't read the name. So number 2 for us. This is Mail. It might be Mail or Hale.
Oh, that'd be George Mail.
There we go.
There you go. Right, Ian Barron, more information. Does anybody remember an old Arsenal winger called Neil Heaney? Yes, I do. I do remember him. He was dark hair, about 5'8", played for Arsenal, the youths in the early 90s, and never really made it. And I think he's saying that because he ended up doing something for Darlington. What else is on here? What else are people putting on here? No, that's no good. Thoughts about links to Aurora? Don't want him. Can't say his name.
You say Uar. That's how you say it. Uar.
So Ellis and Nick will be fine with that.
Yep. I am as well because I'm from the West Country.
Oh, here we go. What a great question to end the show on. Jimmy H. Between Raul and Kia's to the nearest million, how much do you think they have taken out of the club?
20.
I'm going to say all of it because we've got no fucking money anymore, have we?
It's true. Yeah, I reckon about 20. If they're saying that Raul took about 10 million out of the Pepe deal, we'll see.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go, people. That's our thoughts on the Raul Sanllehi thing. We have given you some information. So if you didn't see the beginning of the show or the middle of the show, they were the good bits. They're where we had actual information on the comings and goings at the club, the coaches and the staff and all those other bits. So, rewind to that bit because towards the end of it, there was nothing. And about a third of the way through, there was nothing. We just flim-flammed. Oh, here we go. People having some guests. Peter Ackers says 35 million. Krunal says 35.6 million. I think you know too much there, Krunal, if you put in the decimal point. And Loki, all of it. Oh, dear. Right, so we're going to do some shows. After we've had our meeting tomorrow, we're going to plan some stuff. Carl has got a really interesting show coming up with him and Drew and Femi. That's one they're going to be coming up in the next couple of weeks. We will be doing one every time we sign a player. So we're trying to get Chris to pull his finger out and get one done for, or he said Serge Aurier then. Bloody hell, we don't want that at the club. No, William Saliba. Big Willie. Oh, we signed 2 Willies. It's a club full of Willies. We've got Willian and we got William Saliba. So we're going to do shows on both of those 2. Again, this is going to be about half an hour, just our thoughts on it. We're going to try and keep you up to date with some other stuff. We're, yes, there's, oh, Yvonne is there. She says bye. That's, is that your first message, Yvonne? Only come in to say goodbye. Ah, story of my life. So, big Sam Allardyce for the Barca job. Here we go. Phil says, not sure I've learned anything, but always good to see you, Danny, and the young Steve Wright. Steve Wright in the afternoon. What better way to end the show, Josh? Thank you very much for clinching your poo and joining us a little bit sooner than you meant to, Josh. It's been nothing but if not educational.
Yeah, my bowels have acquiesced to your request to appear on this podcast.
You can't ask for more than that. So there you go. Go back and listen to the good bits. There was some, not all of it, but that's why we're here. We're not here to inform. We're here to entertain. Josh, do you want to give it some jazz hands as I end the show?
No.
Fair enough.